Inspiring true story, Grandma's house gifted to daughter, then a shocking secret unfolds 3 days later. In the heart of a charming, sun-soaked town, Sarah stood on the porch of her late grandmother's weather-beaten house. The house was old, adorned with peeling paint and wildflowers that danced in the breeze, yet it felt like a warm hug. After years of toiling in the classroom, balancing her life as a dedicated teacher and a single mom to 2 energetic kids, this place promised new beginnings. The townsfolk buzzed with excitement, embracing her as the embodiment of hope and resilience. Everyone watched, eager to witness her dreams blossom. Days spent unpacking with her children were filled with laughter and love. They meticulously placed cherished family photos on the walls, breathing life back into the neglected rooms. As Sarah brushed her fingers over the smooth wood of the dining table where her grandmother once hosted lively family dinners, she felt a spark of connection. Each corner of the house pulsated with past warmth, but just 3 days in, curiosity led Sarah to the attic. Dust swirled in the beams of sunlight, creating an almost magical atmosphere as she stumbled upon an old trunk. It was heavy, locked, but her heart raced with possibilities. To her delight, it opened, revealing a treasure trove of letters and faded documents. But as she flipped through them, her breath caught. The words unfolded a painful secret, exposing the harsh sacrifices her grandmother made during tough times. What Sarah thought was a simple legacy morphed into a powerful story of struggle, loneliness, and resilience, reshaping her understanding of her family history. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. As the truth settled in, shadows gathered with her estranged sister, Emily. Their childhood grudges sparked a fierce confrontation. Old wounds burst open, with accusations flying like arrows. "You think you deserve this house more than me?" Emily's voice cracked, a bitter blend of hurt and longing. Sarah felt her stomach knot, a tug-of-war of love and resentment. "I just want what's fair." The quiet ache of yearning to rebuild a sisterly bond clashed with the anger boiling inside. As Sarah navigated these turbulent waters, she found herself at a crossroads. Could she preserve family ties while embracing the newfound opportunities this home promised? The town watched closely, its heart beating in rhythm with her decisions. Just when it felt like some understanding might emerge, another letter slipped from the trunk, its contents so shocking they left her breathless. What lay ahead? A family united or shattered? Sarah felt the weight of her grandmother's legacy pressing down on her, the haunting question looming: was her fight for unity born of love, or something darker? In this small town, as the community rallied around her, Sarah sensed the urgent need to face the truth. The clock was ticking, and history was waiting to be rewritten. As she unfolded the letter, a chill ran down Sarah's spine. The delicate paper felt foreign, the ink slightly smudged but still legible. It spoke of a family secret so profound it threatened to unravel everything she thought she knew about her grandmother. Shadows from the past loomed large, whispering of lost memories and unspoken regrets. Crumpled in the bottom corner, just like the love we never shared, the letter read. It was a message directed not just to Sarah, but also to Emily, a plea for understanding buried beneath years of silence. The ink felt heavy as she read on. Her grandmother wrote about times of despair, dreams dashed, and choices made in moments of panic. The sacrifices weren't just her own, they had implications that rippled through generations. "Your sister is more than blood," it continued. "She is your reflection, the piece you need to heal." Those words struck hard, igniting a flicker of empathy amidst Sarah's swirling emotions. Could it be true? Were the two of them destined to walk the same path, battling their demons together? Outside, the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink. Sarah took a deep breath, her heart racing as the truth began to unfurl. Should she call Emily? But what would she say? "I found a letter that could change everything," felt too simple, too daunting. Would Emily even care? Suddenly, a knock at the door pulled her from her thoughts. Sarah's pulse quickened, and she straightened, smoothing her hair just as Emily stepped through the threshold. Their eyes locked, a moment laced with tension. The atmosphere thickened, heavy with unresolved feelings. "Can we talk?" Emily's voice quivered slightly, vulnerability sizzling in the air. Did you read the letter?" Sarah asked, unsure whether to feel urgency or hesitation. "Not yet. But I know you have questions." "We need to face this together," Emily replied, a tremor in her tone belying her confidence. With a hesitant nod, they moved to the living room, the once carefree space now feeling burdened by the weight of history. The laughter Sarah had imagined echoing in these walls was replaced with a charged silence. She grabbed the letter, holding it between them like a fragile bridge. After reading the opening lines, Emily's eyes widened, each word prying deeper into their shared hurt. "I didn't know any of this. How could we not talk about it?" Her voice cracked, revealing a swell of emotions: loss, anger, sorrow. "Because it hurt too much," Sarah whispered, tears pooling in her eyes. "But we can't keep letting it fester." They sat together, surrounded by the whispers of the past, staring raw truth in the face. Understanding flickered between them, a fragile thread starting to weave the beginnings of healing. Just as they started to breathe again, the sound of a creaking floorboard brought Sarah's heart to a halt. A presence loomed behind them. What awaited them could shatter their newfound moment of connection or strengthen it to the point of no return. Who was it? What happened next? The air crackled with anticipation, and Sarah could only wonder if they were ready for whatever storm approached. The dark figure stepped into the dim light of the living room, and Sarah's breath caught in her throat. It was their mother, standing just inside the door, her expression a blend of worry and determination. A frown etched deep into her brow suggested she had overheard their conversation. "Mom," Emily said, her voice suddenly small. Sarah could feel the tension in the room tighten like a noose. This was not how they had wanted to navigate the storm brewing within the walls of their family history. "What is going on?" their mother asked, her gaze shifting between the two sisters. "I heard raised voices." We found something," Sarah started, her heart pounding. She hesitated, weighing how to share the news, afraid of igniting old flames of anger and pain buried beneath years of resentment. She held out the letter, palm up, as if it were a live wire. "It's from Grandma." Their mother's eyes widened, and she stepped closer, the letter glinting under the overhead light like a beacon of truth. "You shouldn't be reading her letters," she said, the quiver in her voice betraying the anger that lay just beneath the surface. "Why not?" "We deserve to know." Emily interjected fiercely. "This is our family history. Pretending it doesn't exist doesn't make it go away." There was a fire in Emily's words, a resolve born from years of keeping the family's secrets locked away. Their mother looked stricken, her face softening as she realized the depth of Emily's emotions. "You think I don't want to tell you?" "There are things we didn't know how to face," she replied, her voice breaking at the edges. "The only way forward is to face it all together," Sarah said, surprising both herself and her sister with the strength in her voice. Their mother sighed, the weight of the past pressing heavily on her chest. "Fine. But some things were meant to stay buried, girls. I worry that this will hurt you more than it will help." As silence fell like a heavy curtain, Sarah glanced at Emily, who nodded, her brown eyes filled with questions that surged into their connection. "What did Grandma mean by healing?" Emily pressed, her voice barely above a whisper. "Maybe it means confronting the pain we've been avoiding," Sarah suggested, her heart racing at the thought of bringing everything to light. "I want to understand." "We want to understand." Their mother hesitated once more, shifting her weight from one foot to the other. "Fine. But I need you to promise me something. If we do this, we have to commit to being honest. No more hiding." With a nod, they all felt the air shift, an unspoken agreement to embrace the past, no matter how jagged the edges might be. An unexpected warmth enveloped Sarah, soothing the tensions knotted in her stomach. Just as they prepared to unravel more of Grandma's hidden truth, a sudden loud crash echoed through the house. Startled, they all turned toward the noise, hearts racing and bodies taut with uncertainty. What was that? Emily whispered, dread pooling in her gut. I don't know. But we should check, their mother replied, anxiety raising her voice an octave. With hesitant steps, they moved toward the kitchen, where they would discover not only the source of the crash but also secrets that had yet to come to light, intertwining their experiences in ways they had never imagined possible. What lay beyond the kitchen door might change everything once more. As they approached the kitchen, the air trembled with a mix of fear and curiosity. Each step felt heavier, the unknown looming before them like a dark cloud. Sarah reached the doorway first and peered inside, her heart hammering in her chest. The sight that greeted her was both baffling and surreal. A small, wooden chair lay tipped over on the tiled floor, and a spice jar had rolled away, spilling its contents like seeds of memory scattered across the ground. The kitchen was otherwise unchanged, but something felt different, almost charged with an unspoken tension. Instinctively, Sarah glanced back at her sister and mother, gauging how they would react. Is anyone in here? Emily called out softly, her voice trembling with a mix of optimism and dread. The echoes of her words bounced around the kitchen, waiting for a reply that never came. They stepped in, one by one, their eyes scanning for an intruder, a ghost, or perhaps just the remnants of a childhood long left behind. Maybe it was just the wind? Their mother suggested, her breath a sigh of relief barely contained within her. But Sarah wasn't convinced. There was something about that crash that felt intentional, like a call to attention. She knelt to investigate the spilled spices, her fingers sifting through the small, pungent granules. Mom, look at this, Emily said, pointing to the corner of the room where an old family photo sat slightly askew on the wall. The image had faded over the years, but the faces were unmistakable, a young version of their mother surrounded by laughter and love, her own mother beaming brightly beside her. Ugh, I really need to fix these frames, their mother murmured, stepping forward to straighten it. But as she reached up, her other hand brushed against something else on the wall, a selection of hidden wooden panels. It popped open with a quiet groan, and all three of them froze in a moment of disbelief. Mom? Sarah whispered, her curiosity tinged with apprehension. The secret compartment, their mother stammered as she fumbled with the edges of the hidden space. I had forgotten about this. Emily stepped closer, peering over their mother's shoulder. What are you hiding, Mom? She asked, her voice tinged with a mixture of excitement and nerves. With a cautious pull, their mother revealed a small, dusty box nestled within the compartment. It looked ancient, cloaked in a sheer layer of dust, like a treasure waiting for discovery. She exchanged bewildered glances with her daughters, holding the moment as if time itself had paused. What is it? Sarah urged, her heart racing. With trembling hands, their mother opened the box, revealing a collection of letters and photographs, some yellowed with age, some bound with delicate ribbons. The sight sent a jolt of energy through Sarah, igniting questions that burned in the pit of her stomach. Each of these could hold answers, their mother said softly, her voice quivering. Or maybe just more questions. Just then, Emily reached for one of the letters, her eyes wide with wonder and apprehension. If these say anything about Grandma or about us, she whispered, this could change everything. As the reality of their discovery settled in like an unexpected weight, Sarah felt something shift within her. They had stepped into unknown territory, a realm of family secrets and long-buried truths that could break or bind them all together. But before they could delve deeper, the light flickered above them, drawing their attention away. Did you see that? Sarah asked, her heart leaping into her throat. Their mother nodded, fear creeping into her features. I don't know what this means, but something tells me we're not alone in uncovering these truths. In that moment, they stood at the edge of a revelation, teetering between the past and an uncertain future. Each heartbeat echoed with the question that lingered in the air: what would they discover behind the letters, and how would it reshape the fragile threads of their family? As they leaned in together, minds racing and hearts aligned, one thought pulsed between them: this was just the beginning. As their mother took a deep breath and removed a letter from the box, the air in the kitchen shifted. A tense silence wrapped around them, almost palpable. The flickering light seemed to pause as if the house itself was holding its breath. "Do you think we should read it?" Emily asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Their mother looked down at the worn paper, tracing the edges with her thumb. "It feels like opening a door to the past," she said. "But we must be prepared for whatever we find." Sarah's heart raced as she exchanged glances with Emily. The weight of the moment hung over them like clouds before a storm. They knew they were about to unearth something significant, something that could alter everything they thought they knew. "Okay," their mother said, finally breaking the silence. She unfolded the letter, her fingers trembling slightly. "Let us see what Grandma had to say." As she read, the room filled with her mother's voice, which became a mixture of disbelief and nostalgia. "My dearest daughters," she recited. "If you are reading this, then it's time for the truths of our family to go unhidden. I have kept secrets not out of shame, but out of love and protection." Each word plunged deeper into Sarah's heart, conjuring a whirlwind of questions. What secrets? Why hide them? The thought of a family woven together by lies sent chills down her spine. Their mother continued, "There are things you must know about your heritage and the choices I made, and how they ripple through generations. Some of it might hurt, but it's essential for your understanding of who we are." Tears glistened in the corners of their mother's eyes as she paused, trying to steady her breath. The significance of what she was revealing struck all of them with the force of a runaway train. Sarah could feel heat rising in her chest, a mix of anger and sadness tinged with curiosity. "Why didn't you ever talk about this?" Emily finally broke the stillness, her voice quaking slightly. The disappointment blended with a yearning for connection tugged at Sarah's heart. "I thought I was protecting you," their mother replied softly. "But perhaps in doing so, I've also kept parts of our family history in the shadows." They all huddled closer as their mother continued reading. "Your father's family had secrets of their own," she read, each word a thread unraveling a tightly woven tapestry. "Love, betrayal, joy, and sorrow coexist within our bloodline. You are not alone in your struggles. The strength of our ancestors beats within your hearts." They were all perched on the edge of the moment, clinging to her every word. Sarah felt the weight of possibility press down on her. They could be standing on the threshold of something that could illuminate their family lineage. She couldn't shake the feeling that they were on the cusp of retribution or perhaps a rebirth. "What else is there?" Sarah wondered out loud, her voice practically buzzing with anticipation. "What else don't we know?" Their mother hesitated, pulling another letter from the box. "This might lead us to the answers," she said, her voice gaining strength, but just as she was about to read more, another flicker of light interrupted, and this time it was followed by a harrowing creak from somewhere deeper in the house. They froze, each heart racing as the sound echoed eerily. What was that? Emily's face turned pale, the earlier thrill now replaced with a creeping fear. "I don't know," their mother whispered back, uncertainty coating her voice like frost. As they sat there, caught between the revelations of the past and the chilling unknowns of the present, one question loomed larger than the others. What other truths awaited them within these walls? The kitchen felt like it was closing in on them, suffocating yet charged with a haunting sense of urgency. Whatever lay ahead, they were bound by blood and secrets, moving towards answers that might not only unearth their family's history but also their very identities, and just moments later, a loud crash echoed from the hallway, plunging them into uncertainty. What or who could that be? Their hearts pounded in unison, an unspoken pact forming among them. The distant crash lingered in the air, a dark specter of the unknown threatening to breathe down their necks. What if it's something dangerous? Emily whimpered, sliding closer to their mother. "Stay calm," their mother urged, though uncertainty crept into her voice. "Let us check it out together." Hand in hand, they moved cautiously into the hallway, the flickering light casting eerie shadows that morphed around them as if alive. Each step felt heavier than the last, anxiety curling in Sarah's stomach like a tightening coil. What awaited them around the corner? Then, the distant sound of splintering wood crashed again, sending them to a halt. "It's coming from the attic," their mother said, her voice barely above a whisper. In the dim light, Sarah caught a glimpse of her sister's trembling hands, and her resolve hardened. We can't just stand here, Mom. We need to know the truth. With a determined nod, their mother led the way, each step echoing like a countdown in Sarah's mind. The attic door loomed ahead, its surface marred with age. They had been warned never to go up there. It was the domain of forgotten memories and broken toys. But now, it felt like a gateway to something much more profound. On the count of 3, 1, 2, their mother's voice trailed off as she turned the knob, the door creaking open with a groan that sent shivers racing down Sarah's spine. Darkness spilled out into the hallway, heavy and oppressive. Musty air wrapped around them, carrying whispers of the past, the scent of dust mingling with something sweeter, like old books and faded memories. Sarah hesitated, a knot tightening in her chest. Yet, she held firmly to Emily's hand, the warmth grounding her amidst the uncertainty. As they stepped inside, their eyes adjusted to the gloom. Boxes piled high, cobwebs draped like tattered veils, and the odd piece of furniture veiled in shadow greeted them. But it was not the musty smell or clutter that caught their attention. It was a glint small but undeniable from beneath an old tarp in the corner. "What's that?" Emily darted toward it, her curiosity getting the better of her fear. "Wait!" Their mother called, but curiosity had already overtaken caution. With trembling hands, Emily lifted the tarp, revealing a small, ornate trunk. It stood out against the desolation like a beacon of hope amidst the decay. "It looks like it belongs to Grandma," Emily gasped. Their mother stepped closer, recognition dawning in her eyes, mingling with something deeper longing, perhaps? The trunk appeared to whisper secrets, tales of laughter and warmth from a time long gone. "Should we open it?" Sarah's voice was hesitant, fraught with trepidation. I think we must," their mother replied, her voice barely above a breath. As they unlatched the trunk, Sarah's heart raced. Each click echoed in the attic, closer to unraveling their family's legacy. What would they discover? Could they handle the truths packed within? A sudden gust of wind rattled the house, shaking the walls and blowing through the attic like a ghost on a hunt. It sent shivers racing down their spines, but they kept their gaze on the trunk, entranced. With one swift motion, their mother lifted the lid, and the air changed a heady mixture of nostalgia and fear swirling as it creaked open. They leaned closer, breaths mingled in anticipation. What lay hidden away for so long? And just as a glimmer caught Sarah's eye, a silence enveloped them. The moment froze, air thickening with questions like tangled vines. What awaited them in that trunk could shatter everything they understood or piece it all together. "Open it," Sarah urged, her voice barely audible. What had they just released? What secrets waited to be uncovered? The world felt precarious, and in that attic, time held its breath. The trunk creaked open, revealing a faded quilt and several well-worn books, their covers cracked and their pages yellowed with age. A delicate porcelain doll lay nestled among the items, its glassy eyes shimmering softly in the dim light. Sarah's fingers brushed the fabric of the quilt, feeling the rough stitches beneath her touch. Memories flashed through her mind, snippets of laughter and warmth during lazy summer afternoons at Grandma's house. This place had always been a sanctuary. "What's all this?" Emily asked, her voice shaking with excitement and fear. She reached forward, carefully lifting the doll. Its expression seemed to carry a smile, yet there was something else in those glassy eyes, perhaps a sadness, a yearning. "Those were mine when I was a little girl," their mother said, her voice thick with emotion. She hesitated, staring into the trunk as if a lifetime lay within its wooden confines. "I thought I lost them." With cautious reverence, Sarah pulled out a collection of books, their titles faded but still somewhat recognizable. "Look, Mom. The Secret Garden. And oh, Little Women." A faint smile tugged at their mother's lips. "Those were my favorites. I used to read them every night before bed." "But why did you put them up here?" Emily asked, her brow furrowed. "Didn't you want them anymore?" I just didn't think." Her mother's voice trailed off. "I was going through a tough time after Grandma passed. I guess I wanted to keep those memories, frozen in time." As the air grew heavier, the trunk's secrets felt like a weight pressing down on them. The realization set in that it wasn't simply the items in the trunk, they were pieces of a family history that was waiting to be rediscovered. "Mom," Sarah said slowly, "what if we found more? What if there's a reason why all this was hidden?" A flicker of apprehension crossed their mother's face. She turned back to the trunk, a strained expression shaping her features. "It's possible, but it could be painful too." Suddenly, Emily let out a small gasp, pulling out an envelope tucked away at the bottom of the trunk. It was yellowed, the seal broken but the contents still intact. "What's this?" "Open it," Sarah encouraged, her heart pounding once again. With a hesitant breath, Emily tore it open and unfolded the brittle paper. Their mother leaned closer, anxiety filling the space as they awaited the revelation. As the first words became visible, their mother's eyes widened, glistening with a mixture of emotions. "It's a letter from Grandma," she read aloud, her voice trembling. "To my dearest children, if you're reading this, then I must have left you too soon." The room felt charged, breaths caught in their throats. Every word unraveled like tender yarn from a forgotten tapestry. Sarah could feel the surge of history wrap around them, binding the past with their present. "I want you to know," their mother continued, her voice barely a whisper, "that you are not alone. There are parts of me, of our story, that I may not have shared, but they weave through everything and you need to find them." "What does she mean?" Emily whispered, her eyes wide. "I don't know," their mother breathed, the truth of those words settling like a weight in the room. "But I think we need to keep looking." A shiver ran through Sarah as she realized this was only the beginning. The attic had unveiled its first hidden treasure, revealing secrets laced with emotion. What else lay hidden in the corners of their family's history? "Will you help me?" their mother asked, looking at both her daughters. "Of course." Emily replied fiercely, determination sparkling in her eyes. "Yes," Sarah echoed, feeling a fire ignite within. Together. As they stared into the trunk, a world of memories and untold stories stretched before them. What other truths did their grandmother leave behind? With the trunk open and their hearts pounding, the weight of the past bore down on them, but so did the thrill of uncovering what was lost. Outside, a storm began to build, the skies darkening like the unknown mysteries ahead of them. How far would they go to uncover the truth? What revelations awaited them as they unraveled the secrets stitched into their family's fabric? The storm's first raindrops began to patter softly against the slanted roof, a rhythmic backdrop to the revelations stirring in the attic. Sarah felt a mixture of excitement and nervousness bubble inside her. They were embarking on a journey, one filled with the whispers of their family's past, echoing from the treasures packed away in this old trunk. Their mother swallowed hard, the letter still in her hands. "Maybe we should look for more letters or photographs. Anything that can help us understand what Grandma wanted us to find." "Great idea." Emily's voice was buoyant, cutting through the tension. "Let us dive in." Sarah nodded, her heart racing with the promise of discovery. Together, they began to sort through the trunk's contents more methodically, each item adding another layer to the story. As they pulled out a few more childhood mementos, a small wooden toy soldier, a half-finished scrapbook, Sarah's thoughts trailed back to that letter. The soft, gentle tone of their grandmother's words wrapped around her mind. "You're not alone." What did she mean by that? "Mom," she said, glancing up, "do you remember any specific stories Grandma loved to tell? Maybe there's more meaning behind her words." Her mother looked thoughtful, then nodded slowly. "She often spoke about courage and how it's essential to face your fears. And there was something about a secret garden, a place where dreams could be nurtured." Both girls exchanged glances, their minds racing. Could it be connected to the letter? Emily asked, her eyes sparkling with curiosity. "Could be," their mother replied, her expression turning reflective. It was as the rain picked up outside, the tempo quickening into a steady downpour, that Sarah suddenly noticed something glimmering at the bottom of the trunk. She reached in and pulled out an old locket, the metal cool and heavy in her palm. "Look at this," she exclaimed, showing it to her mother. Their mother's breath hitched, memories dancing in her eyes. "That was Grandma as she used to wear it all the time." Sarah carefully opened the locket, revealing a faded photograph of a young woman, vibrant and full of life. It was Grandma. She looked so different but familiar, all the same warmth and kindness carved into her smile. On the other side of the locket, a letter was folded, its edges frayed. "Open it. Open it." Emily bounced beside her, eager with anticipation. With trembling fingers, Sarah unfolded the paper. As her eyes scanned the sentences, her breath caught once more. "To my beloved grandchildren, if you are holding this locket, then you are part of something much greater than you realize. There are secrets in our family's history that rest deep within the garden, secrets you must uncover for yourselves." The rain beat harder against the windows, thunder rumbled in the distance. "What garden?" Sarah whispered, fear and intrigue flooding her heart. "I think we need to go to Grandma's house," Emily declared, her eyes sparkling with adventure. "Maybe there's something waiting for us there." All at once, their mother's expression hardened, a shadow crossing her features. "We can't go there. It's been empty since she passed, but what if there's more?" Sarah urged, her pulse racing. "What if what Grandma left us is hidden there?" Their mother hesitated, torn between grief and the call of discovery. Could facing the emptiness of the house also unlock the meanings buried within their family's past? As the clock ticked ominously in the background and the storm raged louder, they could feel the tide shifting. The journey they thought would be easy was now becoming a daunting trek into the unknown, filled with questions that needed answers. "What if we find something shocking?" Her mother's voice wavered. "What if it changes everything?" Emily added, almost teasingly. With curiosity igniting within them, they were drawn deeper into the storm of wonder and worry. What awaited them at Grandma's house? What other secrets were waiting in the garden of their family history? The thunder grumbled more insistently, a low growl threatening to shake the foundations of their resolve. Sarah could feel her heart pounding in her chest, and she knew her eyes must be wide with a mix of dread and excitement. "Mom," she repeated softly, knowing that emotion often swayed her mother more than reason. "What if this is what Grandma wanted us to do?" Her mother clenched the locket tightly, as if its weight could anchor her. "It's just her house holds so much pain. I don't know if I'm ready to go back. But maybe we'll find something that brings us closer to her," Emily piped up again, her youthful optimism undeterred. "You always said she wanted us to remember her, right?" As if prompted by her words, a gust of wind howled outside, making the attic windows rattle. It felt almost like a reply, a sign that maybe the universe itself was nudging them toward the house and its secrets. Finally, their mother exhaled sharply, the tension in her shoulders easing. "Fine. We'll go. But we stick together, and we're only there for a little while. Just to gather what we can." A spark ignited in Sarah's chest. This was it, their breadcrumb trail leading back to her grandmother. The magic in Emily's eyes echoed her own, and they knew they were ready for whatever awaited them. As they fashioned a plan, the storm seemed to relent momentarily, allowing a sliver of moonlight to creep through the attic window, casting a silvery glow over the dusty trunk. It illuminated the locket in Sarah's palm, a silent promise of connection and the unknown. "Should we leave now?" Emily asked, bouncing slightly on her feet, excitement radiating from her. "Let us give it a bit," their mother suggested. "Maybe wait for the rain to ease up. We want to be safe on the road." They spent the next hour gathering flashlights, old scarves that smelled of cedar, and a small umbrella for their mother. Each object felt like a talisman, fortifying them against whatever emotional storm laid ahead. When the rain finally became a mere drizzle, they piled into the car, the scent of wet earth filling the air as they drove toward Grandma's house. The familiar route felt different now, with anticipation crackling through the car like the electricity in the storm. Upon arriving, the old house loomed in the dark, its silhouette carved against the night sky. Memories flooded Sarah's mind, the laughter, the stories, and the warmth of her grandmother's hugs. But now, those cherished moments felt more haunting, as if the shadows held the weight of untold secrets. "Are you ready?" their mother finally asked, her voice tinged with a mix of affection and apprehension. "Ready," the girls echoed, though their hearts raced with uncertainty. As they stepped through the door, the creak of the floorboards felt like a greeting, a reminder of the lives lived within these walls. Dust motes danced in the air, illuminated by their flashlights, as if the house were awakening from a long slumber. "Where do we start?" Emily whispered, excitement thrumming beneath her breath. "How about the garden?" Sarah suggested, recalling all the stories of flowers and hidden paths Grandma once loved to tend. Their mother hesitated, but then nodded, leading them outside. The rain had left behind a fresh, earthy smell, and the moonlight bathed the small garden in silver. As they explored, Sarah noticed something glimmering at the edge of the overgrown hedge, a hint of color tucked between the weeds. With a racing heartbeat, she knelt down, brushing away the debris. What she uncovered sent a chill down her spine and filled her with a strange sense of urgency. A key. Old and ornate, with floral engravings that matched those on the locket. "What does it unlock?" Emily's voice trembled in the cool night air, a mixture of fear and thrill echoing in her words. Suddenly, the truth loomed ahead like an impending storm. What other secrets lay hidden, waiting for them to uncover? The night buzzed with possibilities, and as they stood in the garden, they knew they were on the cusp of revelations that would forever change their understanding of family, loss, and the power of the past. What doors would this key unlock, and what would they find behind them? With the key glinting in her hand, Sarah felt a rush of determination surge through her. The air shimmered with potential. Whatever lay ahead held not just family secrets, but the promise of healing, understanding, and the chance to connect with the legacy of their grandmother. "Should we go look for what this unlocks?" Emily asked eagerly, her eyes wide. "Yes, definitely," Sarah responded, adrenaline propelling her forward. Her heart raced as they turned back toward the house, the thrill of adventure melting away their nerves. Their mother trailed behind, the weight of her past tethering her in a complex dance of readiness and fear. But the resolve in her daughter's eyes was contagious. She took a deep breath and quickened her steps, driven by an unspoken promise to finally confront the ghosts that lingered in the corners of their family history. As they stepped inside, they quickly made their way through the dim hallways, the memories of laughter and warmth echoing faintly. Dust clung to the surfaces, yet each step they took felt like a step closer to understanding. Sarah's fingers wrapped around the key, feeling its coolness, and she could feel the weight of history bearing down on them. "Where do we start?" Emily asked, glancing around expectantly. "Maybe the attic," their mother offered hesitantly. "We found so much up there last time." This time, their trek to the attic felt different, charged with purpose. The shadows seemed less intimidating now, as if welcoming them. When they reached the door, Sarah paused, her heart pounding against her ribcage. There was a heaviness in the air, a sense that whatever awaited them beyond this threshold could reshape their understanding. As their mother pushed the door open, a blast of stale air hit them, rich with memories. Together, Sarah whispered, taking her mother's hand alongside Emily's. They entered as one, support mingling with their shared fear. They moved cautiously toward the trunk, the memories of their last discovery still fresh in their minds. With a determined breath, Sarah knelt beside it, heart racing. She gestured toward the lock, the ornate metal gleaming in the soft light. "Do you think it fits?" she asked, disbelief mingling with hope. With hands trembling, she rose, inserting the key into the lock. A small click echoed through the attic like a distant heartbeat, followed by the heavy creak of years of expectation unraveling. The trunk's lid swung open, revealing yet another layer of treasures. Photographs, letters, and delicate trinkets lay nestled among soft fabrics. The air thrummed with anticipation as they sifted through years of family memories. Beyond the familiar faces of a younger grandmother and unknown relatives, something surfaced, a ledger. "This looks important," Emily said, her brow furrowing as she flipped through the pages. Her voice dropped to a whisper. "It's filled with names, dates, events." As her mother leaned closer, recognition flickered in her eyes. "These are family gatherings, milestones we didn't celebrate. My God, why didn't I know about all of this?" The sorrow in her voice rippled through the room. Sarah's throat tightened. What if these are the ties connecting us to our past? We can finally reclaim those memories. There was a softness in her mother's gaze, layered with a realization that the pain of their past didn't solely define them. Just then, Emily found a photo that sent a shiver through them all. Their grandmother holding a bouquet of vibrant flowers with a handwritten note tucked away behind it. "Look!" she exclaimed, pulling it free. Their mother gasped. Those were her favorite flowers. They symbolize resilience. Reading the note further, her voice shook with emotion as she spoke. "This is where the garden began, and from it our family will always bloom." A shared light of understanding danced between them. This was not merely a museum of lost memories but an opportunity to weave their story anew. Suddenly, the burden of their family's secrets began to lift, like mist exposed to sunlight. "We have the chance to honor our family in a way that speaks to the love we have for each other," Sarah said, her heart brimming with newfound hope. "We can make those memories worthwhile." Their mother nodded, tears glistening in her eyes. "And this is how we heal," she whispered. "By rediscovering each other, every part of our history, good and bad." As the three of them sat together in the attic, surrounded by remnants of the past, the air was filled with an unshakable bond forged anew. They were ready to rewrite their story together, as one family. The storms outside faded into soft patterings, and as they shared laughter and plans for celebrations unheld, a radiant warmth filled the attic. United by love and understanding, they finally unlocked the door to digging deeper into their roots, forging a future that would blossom just as vibrantly as the garden their grandmother cherished. This was only just the beginning. Each day ahead was blank canvas, waiting for the brush strokes of their newfound connection. As they descended to the garden once more, Sarah realized they had freed not only the past but each other in the process. And in that sacred space, they planted the seeds for a legacy of love and resilience that would endure for generations to come. Now, it's your turn to be part of this journey. Subscribe immediately to the channel to not miss the next exclusive stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm. Comment your reactions and feelings about the ending. Share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. You need to subscribe now. This is the moment to show your support. Don't wait not even one more second to share. Only true fans understand the importance of supporting the channel through these actions.